안녕하세요. Deserted Pursuit Season 2 came out July 28th, 2023 on Netflix. Had a total of 6 episodes that range from, I want to say, 41 minutes long to close to 65 minutes long. Each episode is very different in nature, and I do want to explain how this works. In the American Netflix version, it's called Season 2, and each episode is episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, in South Korea, it's actually titled Episode 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's kind of a continuation of Season 1. I'm really not a fan of how Netflix does that, but when you think it's a new season, it's actually not. It's just a continuation of Season 1. But this season has characters returning from the first season, and each episode has a different title. Episode 7 or number 1 in the season is The Rains, then it's Dirty Play, Curtain Call, The Charred Remains, Han Jun Ho, and The Day. Now, if you didn't know, this series is about deserters who leave the military and go on the run, and it has a heavy basis of bullying and PTSD and mental illness that's really touched on really, really well in this series. Now, Private Han Jun Ho is the leader of the military police, and Ho Yeol Hil is still his friend. But after the events of the first season, he's now in the hospital and doesn't speak. Over the course of this season, Kim Ruri is a man who gets bullied a lot in the military, and he shoots up his barracks, and 14 people are hurt, 2 are dead, 11 or 3 of them are, wounded. So it goes on, but then also trying to figure out what's happening. Episodes 1 through 3 kind of focus on Kim Ruri, and then the 3rd or 4th episode focuses on a kind of military person who is also gay, but performs at a restaurant as a singer in drag, and we get that story. That guy's name is Nina, and something happens to him that really progresses the kind of show really forward. Now, not only that, we have Jin Hee, who you remember from Designated Survivor, the Korean version. He plays General Ja Woon, and we also have Kim Ye Yoon, who's playing Si Yoon. Si Yoon is Im Ji Sup's ex-wife. She kind of has this military ranking, and she's above her ex-husband, and she tries to do everything by the book. Well, she's doing that because Ja-woon is kind of, the head of everything. She takes a turn in the later episodes and becomes an attorney to Kim Ruri. This whole aspect of what it is also pertaining to a big cover-up by the military, saying that, there's no reason for these people to get bullied. Oh, it's, they died for certain reasons. Trying to focus that Kim Ruri, and it's not the state's fault. He should be at fault. The aspect of how these episodes work is really different than what you think episode or season 1 is. Season 2 is a little bit more emotional, in your face, and really different than season 1. We get the aspects of the bullying. That's still heavily prominent there. But not only that, it still continues into this second season, or the second half of this show. It's really eye-opening at times, but you definitely know that it's not only happening in South Korea, it's happening in other military areas and facilities of the world, like the USA. Nobody's going to talk about it because, of course, the government's going to cover it up because they think it's, good to do. But there is a speech that Im Ji-sup kind of says is that they kind of join the army to help their country, but their country isn't helping them when they get bullied, and they're supposed to protect and to serve them when they're absolutely fucking not doing anything at all. That's your government anywhere you go, and it's absolutely kind of absurd that it's happening, but it's really good that a show like this is doing that, and a show like this in America would definitely be more so kind of covered up than actually what South Korea is doing. It talks about the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, how they try and cover up things, the aspect of what's happening, how one friend is hurt, that another friend passed away and died, and certain reasons and aspects, and it's just the trauma of war. but war in general in a way where between themselves. Not only that, the character of Ja-woon, who is the general, kind of has this right-hand man who's the most annoying son of a bitch you would ever see in a show. Dude's like 60 years old doing roundhouse kicks, which makes absolutely no sense at all. But somehow he does it. But then he has backing because he's the general's right-hand man. I don't mind South Korean shows like this, but they have to put a backstory to characters that they put into their shows, or even movies for that matter. They just thrust them in there and we're supposed to know who they are. But we need a backstory. Give us that. American shows like that, they give us a whole backstory, but it takes place over 4 episodes and it kind of gets repetitive. There are certain aspects of this show that are repetitive from the first season, but recurring characters from the first season show up in this second half or this season 2. And it's just really interesting to see that. And if you haven't seen the show, do so. Knowing there's now 12 episodes total. Each episode is close to 45 to 65 minutes long. It's a 12-hour, 14-hour watch, but if you watch it, and it's really quick. You can get the show done in 6 hours, 5.5 hours. The first episode is the shortest. The longest episode is the season finale. This episode and this season is so fun. It's good. It's just that it shows the aspect of what the Korean military goes through and how the military police try to do everything that, that needs to be said out there. There is a great train sequence in this that I absolutely love, and there's a courtroom drama scene. You put all that in a blender, you get the second season of DP, or Deserter Pursuit. I definitely think there will be a third season if Netflix picks this up. If they do pick this up, it'll be fantastic. And also, they're probably going to add 6 more episodes. But then again, it raises the question, what can you do and how can you do it? It's set in certain areas, but then you have certain aspects of what's going on. When it starts, you're like confused, because if you don't watch or catch up from the first season and you just go into this one, it's going to be interesting to see how it all happens. And when you see that Jun-ho now is a deserter, it raises the stakes a little bit. And he's doing that because there's this USB thumb drive that has all the evidence on there of what the military in Korea is hiding and kind of covering up, because they think that it's not their fault. There are so many cover-ups in the world happening by different governments that it's absolutely insane. But this show touches on just their aspect of the Korean government and what the media will do, and how the people should have a right to know what happened and how they should actually get an answer. The acting is great. It's very emotional. There's a mother-son dynamic in this between 2 characters that absolutely breaks your heart to see. And he's just a loving guy, but when you're pushed to the brink, you do things will happen to you. Yes, it's bad that he shot people up, but they deserved it. If you don't tell me that they didn't deserve it, they did, because you're absolutely wrong in the head. He suffered PTSD because he got bullied so much, just because they called him a fat ass. Yeah, well, sometimes it's the quiet ones you have to watch out for, and then they'll turn on you. But then in the end, it's the quiet ones that go to jail because they were defending themselves for something that they shouldn't have done, or the other idiots or bastards started it, and they think they're hailed as a goddamn hero. Absolutely insane, but listen, when a show like this touches on it, it's really good to see, and South Korea really knows how to drive a story forward in the way of emotion, action, and making you think what's going to happen next. It's a big, I want to say, in the aspect of a thriller and a little bit of military in there as well. But it's done so well that it's survival of the fittest and anything can happen. But it goes to show that people will twist stories just so they can get out of it. When you really find the answer to it, what's happening, this show does that. And seeing the characters doing just their job, but then they want to do the right thing, is what is the aspect of this show. This show is absolutely phenomenal. South Korean drama series like this are really good, and especially touching on the second season like this, on a show like this. Season 2 was much better than the first one. Really kept you on the edge of your seat, and I'm really hoping and crossing my fingers that it doesn't take 2 years to get a third season if Netflix does renew this. For me, Deserter Pursuit Season 2 gets 5 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Deserter Pursuit Season 2. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of the story? Do you think it was better than the first season? Did you like that we got new characters in this? Who do you think was right and wrong in this? And do you think there will be a third season or a continuation or a third half of this show coming to Netflix? If so, how do you see the story happening and what do you want to see happen? And do you think that they should actually continue this story, or do you think 2 seasons is just enough? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked, and also let me know what rating you would give Deserter Pursuit Season 2. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I'll see you all in the next review video, and thank you so much for tuning in. 감사합니다.